Good afternoon. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Now, Kentucky. We do have an MCV mesocyclone vortex starting to pop off out there in western Kentucky. It has been popping off for about the last hour and a half or so. Now looks to be growing as it enters more into Kentucky today. But obviously, we have the Kentucky Oaks going on. A lot of events happening in the state today. Let's go ahead and pull up our main radar here. Of course, as you're coming into the broadcast, if you would not mind, tap the share button at the bottom portion of your screen. If you're over there on Facebook, you can share this on your news feed so that way your friends and family can view it. Get up to date on what to expect. I know we've had a few false alarms this week, if we're being quite honest, but this one does look like the real deal. So make sure we're sharing the feed out. I would appreciate that. Thank you guys for sharing our information and helping your friends and family stay informed as well. Audrey, good afternoon to you over on YouTube. John, Zach, Fleekable, Reviews, Can't Leave Me Here. What a name. Hello. How are you guys? Jocelyn, hello. How are you doing? I'm just getting this stuff finished setting up. Ricky, Mike, Katrina, Mary, thank you guys for sharing the broadcast. I appreciate that. Hayden, or Caden, sorry. Angela, hello. All right, thank you guys again for all your likes and shares. I appreciate that. Again, that helps us continue to grow. Also helps us to spread the information out. Again, I think this one's kind of sneaking up on some folks because we've had some false warnings the last few days. You know, but today looks like the real deal. So, and I've kind of said that most of the week. I thought yesterday would actually be a bit bigger than what it was, and today was the primary day, and that looks to be the case. All right, we do have a few severe warnings out, so let's go ahead and read those. Pretty much covering the entire line here. Wow, that is incredibly loud. Trish, thank you for your 200 stars. I appreciate that, my friend. We do have a couple severe warnings here, lining the entire line of storms. And you know, just a few moments ago, there was only one warning here. Let's see if I can get this to pop up correctly. Oh, I have this set to the last 100 scans there. Let's go ahead and pull that out a little bit. We don't need 100 scans. So you can see the line's progression here. Let me go ahead and zoom it out a little bit. Make sure you guys can actually see it. That's when it entered Kentucky back at 11:13. As it's gotten into Kentucky, it's only gotten a little bit stronger here because, again, we're going into peak heating now. So these are kind of hitting at your peak heat time. Peak heat's usually about 2 to 4 p.m. So we only expect these to continue to get stronger. So for those of you that are going to ask if this can weaken, I think we got a while until it weakens. This is probably just the start of it. So you have, this is the progression of over the last little bit. And you can see how the warnings just exploded right there at the end there. Let's go ahead and read some of these bulletins here. For Lewisburg, Russellville, Auburn, Adairville, Elkton, to Greenville to Central City to Cleveland. This is your warning box for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and 0.88-inch diameter. That's very specific. Diameter held there. Once again, that's going to be the common theme today. I think the tornado threat, once again, is very low. We could see a brief spin up. Matter of fact, I wouldn't have been surprised if we saw a brief spin up back out here to the west already because we did see some rotation there, some bookend rotation there. Wouldn't be too terribly surprised. That was back out toward Benton and Murray, Kentucky. Severe thunderstorm warning up here is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and once again, about just a little bit smaller than quarter-size Taylor. That's for Madisonville, Sacramento, Bremen, Providence, Manitow, Slaughters, Calhoun, so on and so forth. So we do have quite big warning boxes here, and again, I only expect this will continue to expand as it heads to the northeast here. I also expect that we'll see an expansion of the current severe thunderstorm watch. I don't think they talked about it yet. I'm just looking. Let's see here. I don't see any discussions yet from the National Weather Service, but this is outside of the current watch area. I think. Let me turn off the radar for a second, show you where the current severe thunderstorm watch is, because I don't think I ever posted it. We didn't have the space in the algorithm. Okay, this was definitely expanded because there's no way this was a part. This was the regular watch down here. So they've expanded it by, I guess, 2 or 3 counties to the north there, because the regular watch was just down here. I imagine there's a chance you could probably see, like, let's say Hardin, Meade, Grayson, Ohio, so on and so forth, Beaver Dam area included in this watch eventually. We'll see how this top end. The model data continues to indicate, just for perspective for you guys. The model data continues to indicate that the northern portion of this line will fall apart, and then everything will transition to the southern side. That is usually how this happens with MCVs. My only exception with that is that we're going into peak heating, and that we're going into where things are really. Let me pull up the current energies here real quickly. I haven't checked on these in a while. I've been busy getting the broadcast. Didn't want to go. I tried going on the broadcast 20 minutes ago, and I didn't want to go, so I've been working on that for a little bit. Oh yeah, there's a lot of CAPE out there. A lot of CAPE. Let's check our wind shear out. You guys know we need 3 ingredients. We need CAPE, we need wind shear, and we need helicity. There is a little bit of wind shear there. It's more focused out there in western Kentucky, which is where we outlined as well. We'll see if that continues to track off the northeast or not. Anything at the surface there? No. All right, let's look at our helicity here. And again, not a whole lot of helicity there. And that's usually the case with the MCVs. They're pretty much cape-fueled storms. They really don't use a whole lot of anything else. So there is some ingredients there. I'm curious to see if the northern portion of this line continues to go or if it falls off like the models indicate. So, for example, here are the models, by the way. They have not been good this week. They have been, matter of fact, this has been one of the worst weeks to use a model in a long time. We haven't really looked at models very much this week. It just haven't. They have been so insanely bad. By the way, Cassie, thank you for your 200 stars. Star Party Challenge started. Oh, goodness. Kelly, thank you for your 99 stars. I appreciate that. Chelsea, thank you for becoming a supporter on Facebook. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for all your shares and likes. By the way, again, I see them coming across the screen there. Like Tina, Johnny, Becky, Debbie, so on and so forth. Thank you guys for all your shares. I appreciate your help with that. Again, I think this one's going to catch a lot of folks off guard, so I'm really big on sharing the broadcast today, especially with all the events that we have going on. So thank you for your help with that. So here's the model data, by the way. So you see here it is valid for 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is like 15 minutes from now. It does see the line, but if you look at the actual line, it's a little bit more aggressive than what the model data is trying to indicate. Oh my goodness. Andrea, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Thank you for your 1,200 stars. The stars are back on now, and y'all are going crazy. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your 1,000 stars, and the star party's been achieved. Oh my goodness, thank you. You got me thrown off here. But if you look at it, does have this, but it only has one little hell core in there, maybe a couple cells right there. You can see it's close. I will say this has been the closest that the models have come this week to actually getting something correct for once. It has been this is much closer. But again, it does have the northern part of that line falling apart like you see, so that's what we're going to look for. Shauna with the 200 stars, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's what we're going to look for over the next hour and a half to 2 hours. Is that I guess the best short range model, even though it's been terrible this week. It does indicate that the line's going to fall apart on the northern side, more focused on the southern side, and that's usually what you get with MCVs, by the way. I'm going to turn that volume down a little bit. That is banging in my ear. And that's usually what you get with MCVs, which is, again, the type of storm that we're dealing with today. So that wouldn't surprise me, a whole lot. But again, we are going into peak heating here. So that northern part of the line is going to still have plenty of fuel to work with. So we'll just see. And then it creates a mess of rain, thunder showers by about rush hour. Also, very important on this run. Again, I know you guys know we focus on all of Kentucky, but today is a massive day up there in Louisville, right? So we're gonna talk about Oaks quite a bit. More importantly, on this run here, it has a lot of the stuff falling apart and missing Louisville. Now, I don't know if Louisville gets that lucky because look at how close it gets several times here, right? So again, I don't think they get that lucky, but they could be just if you're up in Louisville celebrating Oaks or going to Oaks. You could be just north of the main show, but I would still expect a stray cell or two to come through there. And as you can see here, up here towards southern Indiana, up there toward Evansville, line is reaching up there. So this would be the area right here, Seabury, Calhoun. This would be the area that's heading off to Louisville. So that's the part we got to keep an eye on, is that northern side of the line. Of course, we watch all of Kentucky, but today is a big day up there in Louisville, so you're going to hear me talk about Louisville a lot more. So don't get mad at me. It's not because I'm focusing on one area like some people accuse me of. It's because, again, that there's a lot of people up in Jefferson County today, so we're going to talk about that a lot. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to try to pronounce her first name. Miss Montoya, thank you for your 200 stars. I'm not going to try to. So again, I think with these types of storms, by the way, we have some popcorn cells popping up here in northern Kentucky. With these types of storms, for those of you asking when these might go away, these usually turn into rain showers after a while. They don't make a whole long line here. So I think the risk today, here's your risk from the National Weather Service, by the way. Tornado risk, very low, 2%. Again, the odds of a tornado happening in a 2% zone is 1 in about 9,000. So it's I won't say it's 0%, but obviously it's very close. Here's a categorical outlook. Obviously, you could have argued that this enhanced risk should have been pulled back a little bit further west. That's what we've been asking for. But again, apples to oranges at this point. Storms actually started all the way back here, started producing severe weather all the way back here in the 1 out of 5 risk today. So that just kind of shows you everyone kind of needs to pay attention. These are summertime storms. And I'm not going to sit here and be one to harp on the National Weather Service because, quite frankly, this has been one of the hardest weeks in forecasting that we've had in a while. Because when you have summertime storms happening, at the end of April, early May, when there's a little bit more wind shear available for it, rather than it coming in the summer, it creates a whole lot of forecasting headaches. It really does. Have there been some swings and misses? Yes. But there's been swings and misses by damn near all outlets over the course of this week. I know there's been a couple, a few false alarms. There's been days where we told you thunderstorms are going to happen in one area and they end up happening in another area, or they didn't happen at all. Guys, that's just the name of the game sometimes. Especially when you're putting, again, summertime storms in the middle of, coming out of, harsh winter, going into spring, coming into, in those warmer temperatures. I cannot explain to you how much chaos it creates from model data. And then when you add to that the domino effect, the multiple days of storms, guys, it's been storming not even just not just our area, but to our north, to our south, to our Midwest, to the Great Plains, since I believe Sunday or Monday. So when you add several days in a row of storms to model data, and you're talking about it also being the wrong time for these types of storms to really be happening, you're going to get a lot of false outcomes. You just flat out are. That's just how it is. So my advice to you today is don't really look at what color you're in. That's it. It's a moot point at this point. I think you could have put that enhanced risk back in Central Kentucky where they originally had it. Now they have it in Central East Kentucky. And again, it doesn't really matter at this point. It just doesn't. I think everyone needs to be paying attention because MCVs, mesocyclone vortexes, which is the type of storms that we're dealing with today, pretty much are going to do whatever they want to do. They're going to happen whenever they want to happen. We had a similar system to this. What was it, back on Tuesday? And it got into Western Kentucky. It was looking really good. I'm starting to get the broadcast ready for a big, long event. And they just flat out fell apart. Just flat out. No reason at all. 3,000 joules of CAPE. That's a lot of CAPE. That's like a full tank of gas in your car for these storms to go. They just stopped. They just stopped. So it happens. My advice again, don't let the false alarms get to you. Stay paying attention. Second a message? What was that? What was that? Refresh this real quickly. By the way, I'm going to show you all some cool updates that WeatherWise did today. Whenever they pushed out to our link here, it's going to look really cool. Really, really cool. So again, I want to say that the timing for this is anywhere between now and about sunset. Usually when sunset comes, that's when storms really die down in these types of events, okay? You can get cells, as you can see here, you can get cells pop up beforehand. You can get cells to pop up behind it, as you're seeing here. So we got one line, two lines, and then cells popping out all the way out front. So again, days like today, I don't really give you guys any specific time frame, or don't really give you guys any specific forecast, because again, I don't want to tell you something and it be wrong because these storms have a mind of their own on days like today. I'll just tell you the fuel is there for robust, severe weather. You walk outside, you can just feel it. It just feels like a stormy type of day. And that's exactly what we're looking at. So again, I don't want to give you guys any false alarms or let you guys let your guard down at all. Again, I think anyone's at play to see if any of these cells decide to hold on for any longer than they want to, then what the information I could give you right now might be wrong. So again, just my advice: stay tuned to the forecast today, especially if you're up there in Louisville in the the Big Oaks events up there. Just stay tuned, keep watching in. You don't have to sit here the whole time, but check back in every once in a while. So on and so forth. Once the line passes, are you good for the day? So again, prime example right there. My answer is no, because again, we can get cells pop up in front, cells pop up in the main line, cells pop up in a secondary line. So you can get cells all over the place here. So there's not going to be just a fine line answer today. I think everyone just needs to kind of pay attention loosely today and just watch what's going on here. By the way, if you are just not tuning in here, we do have severe warnings. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, 1-inch diameter hail for down here for pretty much a cell in Rochester, Lewisburg, Russellville, Dareville. And then over here toward Greenville, Clinton, Greenville, Central City, Powderly, Drakesboro, Beachmont. Severe warning there for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. No hail on that tag. Severe warnings now been expanded out toward Hartford and Beaver Dam. And this is what I'm talking about. So here's your actual line back here. So again, I kind of want to pull this back just a little bit and show you as it comes in here. So again, here's your line on the backside of all this. By the way, this is why I think we could have seen a brief spin up. Look at the hook right there on that. But anyway, here's your line here. All this stuff on the front side is prefrontal cells. They're creating little bitty environments that may be able to enhance strong to severe weather. And this is why I can't give you a fine line. Look at how the cells just continue to be ingested by the storm line and then continue to pop up once again on the front side. So we have cells there. They are now ingested. Now we see cells popping out again. Those are now ingested. Cells popping out again. Those are ingested. Cells popping out again. It's the same thing over and over again. So again, there's no fine answer today, guys. And I know you guys hate to hear that, but that's the God's honest truth. And you guys know I'm going to shoot you straight. There's no fine answer today, guys. I would just say pay attention till sunset. I mean, really. Risk today, in my opinion, mainly is going to be wind gusts. We did see a 70-mile-per-hour warning back out there toward Murray and Benton, somewhere in that southwestern corner of the state. Could see another 70-mile-per-hour warning at some point in the future. Again, these storms are only starting to get a little bit stronger as they're going into more of the heat. Let me show you real quickly. By the way, again, guys, thank you guys for all your shares and likes on the videos. I appreciate that. You kind of see here where the storms are or where they have been at versus where they're going. So this is why we think storms are only going to get stronger, because they're going into more unstable environments. Look at the temperature difference. It's 76 degrees, for example, in Elizabethtown, whereas it's 59 degrees out here in Christian County and Hopkinsville. And then as the storms move out, look at the temperatures that are begin to rebound very quickly. So again, you got 59 degrees here in Hopkinsville. Well, now where the storms were an hour ago, the temperatures have already rebounded up towards 68 degrees out there in Mayfield, Kentucky. So again, it creates an area, it creates an environment that's able to be hit over and over and over again. So that's why there's no fine answer of one line passing and then you're done. Well, you can get cells on the front side, cells in the middle, cells on the back side. So there's really no fine answer today. Just stay tuned until sunset, really. I don't think anyone needs to have their safe spaces ready. If we do see a tornado today, it will likely be, of the weaker variety. Again, if you do live in a trailer park and you're in the southern half of Kentucky, I definitely think you probably should head to a safe zone when the storm line gets a little bit closer to you. Mainly for the straight line winds, though, because straight line winds can level a trailer as well, or mobile home. So I don't think it's a hunker down, be scared of biblical times type of day, but it is one that you're not going to want to get caught out in this. This is going to move bigger vehicles around on the highways as those winds come through. It's going to cause damages to mobile homes, even with the straight line winds. So again, just kind of knowing where you're at, what your context is there would be the best answer I can give you. Yeah, I'm watching the northern side there too, because again, Louisville has all the Oaks events going on today in Oaks. So curious to see how the northern part of that line acts. We do see a stronger cell up there toward Owensboro now. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen this watch expanded yet. Has the watch been expanded yet? Did I miss it? No. Okay, so the National Weather Service really feels, the Storm Prediction Center really feels that this northern half is going to pretty much die down as soon as it gets through Beaver Dam. Um, that's a really quick die down there. Again, apples to oranges. For what we've seen the last few days with MCV, especially down there in Texas, Arkansas, whatnot, how they've been going on stronger and longer than forecast, and there's that warning up there for Owensboro now. Again, I think we should already have a severe watch out, just because again we've seen how they've acted back out here. This is the same complex that went through Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas last night. It was definitely stronger. It was definitely longer lasting than originally thought. And I think because of that historical context of this system, we should probably see a watch being expanded here soon. I wonder if there's a discussion for it yet. No. Interesting. Again, guys, I'm not giving any specific timelines today, folks. We have cells popping out in front of the line. Look at the radar here. We have cells popping out in front of the line. We have the main line. We have a secondary line out forming. So there's not really a timeline I can give you guys. I can just say, hey, anywhere between now and about sunset, thunderstorms are possible. After sunset, heavy rain showers. So just not a pretty day overall here. I'm going to read some of these new warning bulletins for you guys. Thank you guys again for all of your shares on the broadcast. I appreciate you all. YouTube is actually smashing Facebook today, which is probably the first time that's happened. So you Facebook folks need to get it together there. What in the world? What in the world? YouTube is smashing Facebook on the likes and shares. Oh my goodness. I have never seen that in our history. I have never seen that. That's funny. Anyway, severe warning is going to be for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1.25-inch diameter hail. So a little bit slightly bigger hail moving on the northern side of Warren County, just north of Bowling Green down there. Riverside, Richardsville, Rockland, Hadley, along I-165 there. A little bit slightly larger than quarter-sized hail there. Here we have a severe warning. This is going to be for a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, 1-inch diameter hail for Hartford, Beaver Dam, Centertown, Rosine, however the world you say that. Owensboro, Knoxville, Whitesville, Panther, West Louisville, Utica. Severe thunderstorm warning for you, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and some nickel-sized hail there. Again, this line is only strengthening as it's pushing to the east. Hey, Justin, how you doing, my friend? Again, no timelines today, folks. I see a lot of timeline questions. Again, storms can pop anywhere between now and about sunset. I want to refresh my Facebook because I can't believe that this is true. This is the first time that YouTube is just dominating Facebook. Said E-Town just got a severe thunderstorm watch. Did it just come out? There we go. Thank you. Good job, National Weather Service. All right, let's go ahead and get this out to our feeds here. Look, let this be a lesson, guys. If you complain about something enough, it will happen. I'm just kidding. But, yeah. How long does it go for? 7 hours? So right around sunset. Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern time at sunset. So everything we're telling you guys to be backed up by this watch here. Forgive me for 1 second. You guys are going to see behind the scenes because I don't feel like changing everything. You guys are going to see behind the scenes of how we do this. Boom, boom. Change that. Boom. Until 9 p.m. Eastern time. Usually I hide it from you guys and stuff, but listen, we don't got time for that today. We don't got time for that today. Okay, posting this out real quickly. So if you guys wanted to see this watch any longer or zoom in or do anything like that, it's posted on our Twitter now. I'm posting it to our Facebook here right now as well. Okay. Okay, get all this bright yellow off my screen. Yellow is my least favorite color. Look at that warning. Look at that warning line right there. Pretty much the entire. So if you're going to ask, hey George, do we have a shot of severe weather today? Pretty much everyone in Kentucky is in that watch now or under a current warning. So yeah, the odds are pretty good. The odds are pretty good there. Bluegrass Acres, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. I appreciate that. It's easier to watch on YouTube sometimes. Can put on the big screen. Yeah. If I was a viewer, listen. I love Facebook. We've been on Facebook since our beginning, but I would probably watch on YouTube because I could put it up on my TV and do it that way. This warning box has been updated. Hail size is now ping pong ball sized hail. Let's go and take a look at the vertical integrated liquid. This is going to tell us any hail cores. Yep, that is a nice hail core there. Again, that's for along I-165 right now. So if you're just east of Hadley and heading into Barron River down there in northern Warren County, likely some large hail ongoing there, as well as over here toward Leetown, Dimple, to Needmore. And you can see all the lightning following those hail cores, continuing to indicate that the hail core might actually be intensifying. We got some hail cores beginning to grow up here toward Mosleyville, Utica, Calhoun, Livermore, Sacramento as well. So once again, hail cores are beginning to grow here throughout this line. Let's go check out our velocities for a second. Don't really see, there is some really broad rotation there, but again, just indicating that a hail core is ongoing. Nothing really tornadic about that. No real rotation anywhere. So no real tornado indications at the moment. But look how bright these colors are. Look at this hail core really, really growing down here in northern Warren County right now, just to the north of Bowling Green. Very, very large hail core. Yes, the threats are the same for pretty much the entire day. I don't think we'll see a tornado today, guys. Again, there is the brief shot of a brief spin up, but this is your classic medium to large hail producing storm system as well as damaging wind storm system. This is a classic MCV right here, mesocyclone vortex. And so look, we keep seeing that same pattern. I want to put it into motion again just to kind of show you Watch how the line travels to the east, and as it travels to the east, cells are going to pop up on the front side, like out here to Bowling Green, and then get ingested, and then new cells are going to pop up, get ingested. New cells are going to pop. Just watch how this happens as I put this into motion here from the WeatherWise radar. You can see how we put this into motion here. A line is formed, cells are going on the front side, those are getting squeezed in, new cells squeezed in, new cells squeezed in. So again, just the same pattern over and over again. And what that's doing is it's allowing the line to intensify each time it does that. Each time a cell is popped out and then ingested in, the inflow, these cells are getting stronger on that line. So this is only indicating, every indication that we're looking at here with the lightning, the hell core is growing, the cells popping out and coming back in. Every indication is that the storm line is continuing to intensify as this is heading to the east. So once again, if you have any Oaks plans, if you're out having a party today or celebrating, definitely make sure you have us up somewhere in your home to hear our voices as you're going through things. Or if you're in your vehicle, put it on your vehicle, so on and so forth. Trent, oh my goodness, 3,000 stars. Oh my goodness. W. Trenton, thank you very much, Trenton. I appreciate that, my friend. Pickle, hello. I tried to join on Facebook and it said I wasn't live anymore. What in the world? Is anyone else getting that issue? By the way, there is a severe thunderstorm watch that has been expanded. Again, that's posted to our Twitter and Facebook. Make sure you go look at those if you need information on that. That does go until 9 p.m. Eastern Time or sunset. Hang on. I gotta make sure my ringer's turned on in case anyone needs me today. I forgot my ringer wasn't on. Don't you hate when you randomly look at your phone and they get a notification for paying a bill? I hate bills. No, this line is continuing to push through all of Kentucky. Almost all of Kentucky is under a severe watch today. So, again, this is pretty much an ordeal for the entire state. Haley with the 20 stars, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Good afternoon, Phil from Owsley County. I want to check this hell core down here again. Wow, look at that thing. And you see how you have the hell core here, a space, and the hell core down here indicates a growing hell core overall. So all signs are pointing toward quite the severe thunderstorm down there for the northern portions of Warren County. You see all these purples showing up as well, indicating all that hell being thrown down. Up here for Whitesville to Hartford, Beaver Dam, Utica, Livermore, Mosleyville, Panther. Scattered thunderstorms up there with some hell cores embedded within that line, as well as some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts too. So, and here comes your secondary line coming into Western Kentucky. I'm very curious to see, because we just had this line go through, right? So I'm very curious to see. There is a bit of a small cap there. So I wonder if this is going to turn into massive rain showers, or if this is going to get stronger and produce severe weather as well. Again, there's more of a wait and see type of game with that line. But very curious to watch that one. Again, no timelines today, guys. Again, because we have multiple waves to worry about: prefrontal cells, main line, secondary line. So no timelines are going to be too accurate for you. I can just tell you anytime between now and about 9 p.m. Eastern Time is your severe window. You think it'll hit Danville before 2:45? Again, we have the prefrontal cells, the main line, and the secondary line. I can tell you there is a chance that a prefrontal cell popping up, like for example, right now over Danville is a prefrontal cell there. So that could definitely happen. So that's why I can't give you guys good timelines today. I can just tell you anytime between now and about 9 p.m. Eastern Time, there's a chance of severe weather. Will it turn into moderate risk? No. This is a 3 out of 5 risk. Yes, everyone is still in a 2 to 4% tornado risk, which is again is the lowest risk that you can have without it being 0%. What are the concerns with these storms? These storms mainly are going to be damaging wind producers as well as at times large hail producers. There is a small tornado risk with this as well, but again, if there are any tornadoes, they will likely be brief, short-lived, spin-up, weak tornadoes. So again, the main risk being damaging winds as well as the at times large hail like we're seeing down here in northern Warren County, where we're seeing that ping pong ball sized hail down here. Actually, they're saying golf ball sized hail now. I still think it's probably ping pong ball, but regardless, larger hail happening down here, northern Warren County, going into Woodbury, Morgantown, and look, here we go again. Another cell on the front side there. So watch this cell go into the line. This cell take this cell's place. It's going to keep happening over, and you see it up here, Fordsville. So again, continuing to see how these storms interact with each other as they merge. We have a cell that's kind of by itself up here, just to the north of the river. That will track into the downtown area of Louisville here later on. Curious to see how that one acts. So we got a long line of storms. Look at this, just kind of zooming out here, all the way from southern Indiana down there toward northern Alabama. Almost looks like a derecho. It really does. Almost looks like a derecho event. Not quite there. It's got a look to it. And now the one cell in Brownsville is warned. This is going to be for, again, almost ping pong ball sized hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Here we go again. Another individual cell popping up in front of the line there. This is why we can't give you guys timelines, because the timelines are not going to be 100% accurate. So Brownsville area, Mammoth Cave National Park, to Straw, Bee Spring, Black Gold. We have a severe thunderstorm there. I'm going to see if I can pull up the camera from Telecast real quick as well, so I can have that ready to go. Oh, I can't remember the. Oh goodness, I can't remember the thing. Oh my goodness, I think I just remembered it. Yes. We are in the camera now. So I got an eye on this. How does this look if I pull this over? I don't like changing scenes and stuff. Okay, perfect. I'll put it back where you had it for now. Wanted to see how that looked. Okay, good. That camera's in LaRue County, so we'll look at that when that gets a little bit closer. But that might have a really good look at this cell to the south. It'll go just south of Podgeville, probably toward Magnolia. But we should be able to see these cells down here and the entire line eventually. Again, north of Bowling Green, some large hail occurring up to golf ball size just to the north of Bowling Green there for Richardsville, Rockland, and then again out here toward Brownsville, Asphalt, where the hail cores continue to grow on the southern side. So it looks like the northern side of the line is wind dominant. Southern side of the line might be hail dominant here, at least for Kentucky purposes. So that's what we're looking at right now. Got a lot of rain beginning to build in on the backside as well. Daniel, thank you for sharing the broadcast. Christine, Ashley, Therese, Stacy, Destiny, Johnny, Missy, June, Stacy. Again, thank you guys for all sharing the broadcast. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for your help with spreading our information, keeping your friends and family safe. I'll check our wind velocities here. I don't see any rotation of any kind. Check our hell cores out. Looks like those hell cores are beginning to shrink down there for that southern side a little bit, which is good because that was getting very concerning. Look at the Brownsville one tick up though. So here we go again. That cell is now weakening, getting into the line, and here comes the front side cell beginning to overperform. So it's that same thing we've talked about over and over and over again. Severe warning up here has now been included for quarter-sized hail as well as 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Again, this might just go south of Owensboro Metro there, more into Tuck, Utica, Glenville, Knoxville, Whitesville, Pellville. Severe warning there, as well as Hartford, Beaver Dam, pretty much along I-165 right now. You can almost draw a perfect line there. I-165 is where all your severe warnings are at the moment. Thank you, Nikki. I gotta iron it out though and fix it. I accidentally got the backdrop there. Accidentally got a little bit too big. It doesn't really fit in the room, so I gotta shrink it down a little bit, and that's causing some of the wrinkles in the backdrop there. So I gotta do something about that. I thought I had enough room, but I didn't take into account the ceiling fan. The ceiling fan's just enough in the way to get in the way of it. So I might have to completely rearrange the room because I'm not ordering another one. I'm cheap like that. I don't see a warning for Scottsville. I see that the severe thunderstorm watch, Caitlin, but I don't see a warning. There's not even a cell there right now. Yes, Kelly, there is another line forming on the backside here. This shouldn't be as strong as the front side, but we'll see how this trends as it tracks to the east here. Oh, clicked the wrong button there. Again, Jessica, my answer to that is everyone's under a severe watch till 9 p.m. Eastern time. Severe weather is possible until then, with the main threat being damaging winds and up to a 1.5-inch diameter hail. Now, out in southeastern Kentucky, these storms should begin to die down, but I don't want to give that as a forecast because we know sometimes with these MCVs, they can go forever and ever and ever without a care in the world. Take a look back through the radar here. We do have some broad rotation beginning to show up now down here just to the south of Owensboro, probably indicating some downburst of winds occurring there. Yeah, they do have the wind on the warning there. Again, some very, very broad, nothing really too crazy to write home about, but does indicate downburst of winds may be starting to occur there, more specifically around Utica to Mosleyville, heading out toward Knoxville and Whitesville. Check down here on the southern side. I don't see any rotation at all down there. Still see some nice hell cores. Hell cores up here, by the way, in northern Kentucky are starting to grow as well. So the hell cores are kind of overperforming today a little bit, in my opinion. We've got hell cores growing all over the place here. Again, guys, the time frame is anywhere between now and 9 p.m. Eastern time. I can't give any more specific than that because we have cells on the front side, this main line, and then cells on the back side. So there's really not any more specific I can get on the timelines because I don't want to give you guys any false information. Here's your backside line, by the way, for those asking about that. Looks like it's entering western Kentucky now. And this is kind of moving about the same speed as the front line there. So it'd be Mayfield, Paducah in about 40 minutes or so, Murray, Benson about an hour, hour and a half or so on and so forth. We have an updated warning here for Beaver Dam. This is going to be for 1-inch diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I believe the hail threat's growing on that warning there. Yeah, these hail cores are really performing well right now. Again, in West Louisville, Kentucky, you do have a severe thunderstorm warning. Again, for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and 1-inch diameter hail there. Looks like it's mainly to your southeast though, so you're going to miss out on the big stuff. Wow, look how tall these storms are. These are some tall storms. They're 44,000 feet tall. 44,000 feet tall. It's pretty good size there. Elkhorn, Utica, just east of Utica, starting to become more dominant now. So we'll see how this continues to trend. Owensboro's getting a nice hell core just to the south of central Owensboro there. Pretty much along and just west of I-165 up there in Daviess County. We're getting a nice hell core beginning to develop there. Wouldn't be surprised if this warning box probably gets updated. Let's see where this is at. 1-inch. Yeah, probably needs to be updated to 1.25-inch. We'll see if they do that here soon. Again, up there toward Owensboro, just along I-165, a nice hell core. You can see it right there in pink and purple. Very nice hell core developing there. And again, here we go again. Cells popping up on the front side. And just north of the main line. It's the same thing over and over again. Again, guys, we posted that watch on our page. If you need to see who's included in it, who's not included in it, it's on our Twitter and Facebook for you guys to look. Yeah, I don't look at special weather statements, Caitlin. I wouldn't know. I might turn it on real quickly. Yeah, you have a special weather statement, but again, that's not severe warning. That's just indicating a strong thunderstorm. Again, no specific timelines today, guys. We have multiple rounds and multiple cells that may pop up. So anywhere between now and 9 p.m. Eastern time is about as good as we can get. Corey, thank you for your 99 stars. I'm sorry if I missed that, my friend. Thank you. Yeah, probably some nice hell being thrown down right now, just to the south of Owensboro, between Owensboro and Utica there. We're seeing that purple and pink starting to show up. Here we go with another cell out here just to the east of Fordsville. And there's the warning for that one. Severe warning for 1-inch diameter hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. Again, this is going to be for Tell City, Candleton, Cloverport, just to the west of Hardinsburg, Mattingly, Van Zant, Roseville. Again, we do have another severe warning there for an extension of this cell, as well as these little cells popping up in front of the line. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It does include pretty much the entire portion of the state. If you need to see where that watch is, that has been posted on our Twitter and Facebook, you can go look at that image there and come back here once you're done. Again, right now we're looking at the live radar via WeatherWise. Ashley, thank you for your 100 stars. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Owenton is not under a severe thunderstorm warning. Yes, you're under watch, correct. WeatherWise is showing a 10% risk for tornadoes. Can you show me what you're talking about, April? WeatherWise does not make their own risk maps. They use the SPCs. And the SPC indicates a 2% tornado risk. So I'm not. Oh, are you talking about? Hang on. I think I know what you're talking about. No, I don't see anywhere in here either. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure where you're referring to, my friend. Oh, it's the watch info. That makes more sense. Sorry, I wasn't sure what you were referring to there. I don't even see where it says percentages in the watch info though. Am I missing it? Yeah, I'm just not sure. Yeah, again, there's gonna be a. I don't just send me a screenshot to the Facebook page so I can look at it for you. Messages on Facebook with that. I have no idea. The tornado risk is definitely not 10% though, unless the watch includes it. But again, 10% for a watch is quite low. Hang on, let me see. See, even here it says low. Oh, you guys can't see it. Even here it says low, very low, moderate for the severe wind, moderate for the severe hail. Okay, I'm glad we cleared that up because I didn't know what that was. But yeah, no, it's still very low. Yeah. Thank you, April. I'll look at that real quickly. 'Cause I am curious. I want to make sure that's not. I want to make sure that's not a bug. That's my important thing. Oh, you're talking about the mesoscale discussion. See what we're talking about now. If we go again, we go back to the regular one. I'm using a different one. We go back here. Even mine doesn't show that though. What in the world? I see what you're saying now, but I'm so curious as to why we're seeing two different things. Hang on, guys. We're looking at something real quickly. I don't know how to say that name, but thank you so much for your $20 donation on YouTube. I appreciate that so much. Okay, here we go. Oh, I like that though. So these are just the numbers put out by the watch, by the SPC for the watch. But as you can see, the tornado odds are the lowest of all, and 20%, by the way, is very low, like very low. It's the same thing as a 2%, pretty much a 2% general tornado outlook that we have here. If I turn this on, that pretty much the same thing as that. Now, okay, now I'm glad to know this is something new that they put out today, so I haven't had a chance to really play with this too much yet. The odds are changing as I'm clicking on different counties. Wait, I like that a lot, though. That's really good information. It's again telling you guys, download WeatherWise. I'm not lying to you. I know they're a sponsor, and that's my job to say that. But again, it's a really good app. They have all the information for you right there. I like that a lot. Thank you for sharing that with me, by the way. Again, they just put that update out today, so I haven't had a chance to really look at it too much. That's why I was kind of confused. But now I see what you're saying. And now I see what you're saying. It keeps saying you're not live. Let me go look. I'm seeing it just fine. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's get back to our warnings here. We do have severe warnings for Cloverport, Hardinsburg, Tell City, Cannleton, just north of Fordsville, into Knoxville, Whitesville, Mosleyville, Hartford, Beaver Dam, Rossine, or Rosine, however the word you say that, Brownsville, to Woodbury, to Richardsville. Again, all for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size tail, I'm assuming now. Yeah. It's like our hell cores are beginning to die down now, maybe becoming more wind dominant on the storms here. Weeping Willow, thank you for the update there. By the way, shout out to all of our sponsors: Hyper Roofing, FBI Buildings, Divine Old Fair, Right Implement, Turf Tech. I know I'm forgetting somebody in there. Thank you guys again for all of their support there. Without those companies, we're not here for you guys 24/7. So thank you to our sponsors. Hopefully, you guys consider supporting them in any way that you can. Again, very, 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 very thankful for them. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate that. I see you now. I didn't know how to say that name. I was so lost. Again, no real specific timelines today, guys. I need time between now and about 9 p.m. Eastern time. Again, that's when the watch goes to. That's what we've been saying as well. Pretty much sunset. Again, I think that's your main time frame today. Storms can pop up in front as we're seeing out there in Eastern Kentucky now. Storms along the primary line here and storms on a backside line here. So again, that's why we can't give too specific on the timelines because again, we do have multiple instances or waves, if you will, of storms. Yeah, I can put it in motion for you. There is a warning on the northern side of Warren County. That's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. Amount of rain, honestly, we've been so busy trying to get everything. I didn't even look at the amount of rain. We can look real quickly. This is not going to be 100% accurate, by the way. That sounds about right. Roughly about a 1 inch of rainfall or so. It sounds about right for an MCV. Not too crazy on the rainfall. This is not going to cause any real big flooding effects. I know it's the main concern for a lot of folks after what we dealt with for the last couple months here in the state. Check our velocity charts out again, our wind speeds, if you will. I cannot believe that YouTube is just crushing Facebook like this. This has not happened before. Is there a switch in the matrix starting to happen now? Is everyone starting to go to YouTube? I can't blame you all, honestly. The viewing quality on YouTube is so much better. Listen, I love Facebook. We've been on Facebook since day one. It'll always be home as long as Mark Zuckerberg lets us let it be home. But again, the viewing experience on YouTube to me is a lot better because you can put it up on your TV like it's a TV show. Um, it's there's not as much of a delay. The quality's better. Although I will say Facebook just made an update, so the quality should be better on Facebook now than it was before. I think that's why we were having so many issues. They were trying to put out this update for the last month. Now they finally let it out, so the quality should be better than it was before. You have some nice bursts of winds occurring here. I want to measure these real quickly. Probably around 55 or so. Yeah, 55 to 60 mile per hour winds, and all those bright blue, white spots that you're seeing there. The good thing is I'm not seeing any rotation at all. I haven't really seen. I did see one bit of rotation that was all the way back out here toward northern Murray, heading in toward land between the Lakes National Recreation Area. That was the only bit of rotation that I've seen at all today, and even that was pretty marginal. I prefer YouTube because I can do other things on my phone while listening. Yeah, now the only thing I will say is that YouTube does have more ads. It does. That's just how YouTube works, and I can't control that because we're a full partner. We have to run some sort of ads, but I do have the ads on the lowest possible setting. So, again, and the easy way to do that is either becoming a member or purchasing YouTube Premium. I mean, that's just how it is. And that's just where our world is now. So that's the only difference. Facebook has less ads, but the viewing experience overall on YouTube is a lot better, in my opinion. Ashley, thank you for your 25 stars. I appreciate that. Do you think that second round will be intense? It could be intense in terms of lightning and rainfall. As far as severe weather, I don't think so because once you've had this big line come through and pretty much punch the atmosphere down, you can kind of see the difference there. A lot more calm, a lot more stable. But out here in Tennessee, that line is starting to turn severe, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. But my feeling is this is not going to be anything like this front side in terms of severity. AH, hello. Enjoy your nap, Bluegrass Acres. Exactly, Landon. Whenever you try to full screen, Facebook starts the video over. Yeah, and it sucks because Facebook was doing so good at all of their updates. Um, and then COVID kind of hit a little bit after COVID, and it's just like everything kind of stalled on Facebook. Um, when it comes to live videos and stuff, and YouTube's just kept going. Twitch, which we've considered starting to stream on Twitch now with the weather stuff, has started, really taking up a little bit as well. You got TikTok. I don't think I'll ever stream on TikTok, just to put that out there. A lot of people have asked me to, and could I probably make a lot of money doing it? Yeah. Okay. TikTok, you make a lot of money doing lives. Okay. But the absolute wildness of the nature of TikTok is what's keeping me away from that. And I don't know if it's worth the money to go through the headache. I would have to actually hire probably moderators at that point to just do TikTok alone because it's just it's the wild wild west on that app. It really is. But just to bring back my point to full circle, it just feels like Facebook has taken the quality of the live video and just gotten complacent with it. By the way, severe warnings down on the southern side of the line have been allowed to expire. Wouldn't be surprised to see warnings come out again in the future. This line will probably continue to cycle over time. We'll see how this continues to trend. I've still seen quite a bit of purple in there, indicating some stronger, maybe some light hell cores. It's still got a decent hell core down here, so I wouldn't be too shocked at all to see another warning come out for Brownsville. Um, but the winds the velocities just aren't matching up with the actual hell cores and the reflectivity. So your only severe warning right now in the state is Hardensburg, Cloverport, Knoxville, Whitesville, Fordsville, Candleton. But again, this entire line still looks to be pretty strong here. But it does start to look like the middle part of this line is beginning to fall apart. So very interested to see how this line just evolves as it heads to the east. Does it? Because again, the model data did indicate that this line would fall apart. It did. I didn't believe it because the models have just frankly been so bad. But here's the model. Right here's the line that I saw back at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Well, here is right now. Not 100% accurate. Not 100% accurate. And it has that line falling apart on the southern side. The northern side becoming a lot more dominant, a lot more strong. So we have to keep an eye on that. I mean, look at what's doing to western Hardin County at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's just an onslaught of hell. Again, this is not going to be 100% accurate. So don't take that and run with it and go to your bosses and say, "Oh my God, I got to get off work." Don't freak out. This again, the models have not been all that great. Uh, we get just something to keep an eye on. And then it has a regeneration of the line as it gets across I-65 there. I cannot tell you how weird this week has been with weather. This has not been the easiest week at all. Thank you, Tiff. I'll check that out here soon. Serena, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And there's that warning that we talked about now out for Brownsville to Mumfordville. Again, this is going to be for golf ball sized hail and a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust with this cell in Brownsville. So again, it looks like all that stuff to the south there is beginning to fall apart. So what's going to allow this to happen is almost a tell-in Charlie type of situation. So let me draw this out for you real quickly. So you have your line here, right? But then if this continues to fall apart down here, well, now this cell right here doesn't have anything to compete with. It could be in its own space, doesn't have to share energy with down here, doesn't really have to share energy with up here because this line is starting to fall apart over here in almost creating a gap, if you will. So now you just have this cell kind of in its own space. If it holds together, could stay with a large hail threat and damaging wind threat. So we'll keep an eye on that. No, Stacy. Yeah, Landon. And this week in particular has just been weird, man. We've had a lot of false days, if you will. I'll tell you, the atmosphere has been juiced since Monday. Since Monday, we've just been waiting for storms to actually go, and they would go at some points and then just fall apart. They would go in areas where they really shouldn't have gone, and then areas where that's more juiced up and it didn't go there. It has been a very chaotic weather week, and it sucks to have the forecast wrong sometimes, but again, with these types of systems, it almost always going to create some headaches on forecasting. Becky, yeah, it's gonna be real close. It's gonna be real close. Again, this front line might be out of there by then, but then you have the back line to worry about, where it's just a lot of rainfall. Those fields are going to be soggy from the front lines, and then you have this back line. Yeah, I could see that probably not happening today, especially if it's for for minors. Yes, this line will enter Louisville at some point, probably in the next hour and a half to 2 hours. Jason, this is Kentucky. Here go my allergies. Here we go again. Look, we have another cell starting to pop up on the front side, Horse Cave. That means this cell is probably going to start to die down at some point, although I'm starting to see a bit of a hook down there. Yep. And there's some rotation showing up. Is there a tornado possible tag on this by chance? There is not just yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see one come out this if we have one or two more radar scans that show this. Around Mammoth Cave National Park, there's some rotation showing up, and we have a hook on the southern side a little bit. Again, nothing overly crazy to write home about. But listen, if this can ingest this storm here, or this cell right here, we may have some rotation occur as that storm or as this cell is ingested into the bigger cell. So we'll have to see. We'll have to watch that one very, very closely. That's a very interesting dynamic we have setting up down there in southern Kentucky right now, south central Kentucky, if you will. Up here toward Hardensburg, Cloverport, we have another cell popping up here on the front side. Might see a warning come out for this for Irvington and Brandenburg here soon. Looks like the northern side of the line is starting to turn a little bit more north, whereas the southern side of the line is starting to turn a little bit more east. So again, very interesting dynamics. And look at the arrows up here. A little bit more north with those arrows. Look down here in Brownsville, a little bit more east with that arrow there. So again, very interesting dynamics beginning to set up here. Might have a situation where we may have a gap set up for Grayson, Hardin, Nelson, and so on. So we'll have to see. Again, threats are the same for everyone, folks. 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, quarter-sized hail being the main threats, but we could see some isolated parts of the line get a little bit more aggressive with that. There is a 2 to 4% chance for a tornado today, but again, that is quite low. And if we do see one, it would be a brief spin up. Christina, severe weather looks very low on the probability chart tomorrow, but there will definitely be some rainfall for Derby parties and Derby. So just a messy, dude. It feels like it's been raining for the last 10 derbies in a row. I mean, something like that. It's been the same thing each year. Or possible that Owensboro warning now. Oh, on the older warning on the backside there. Yeah, it might be seeing the bookend set up there. Yeah, I still think this one down here is a little bit more impressive. What radar? I'm on the little radar. Okay. Okay, not as impressive now as it once was. Yeah, the Hellcore is just dominating now. Still seeing that little hook right there. It's trying so hard. We'll see if it can do it. I hope not. But it is trying incredibly hard to hook itself out there. Which is a little crazy on an MCV line. You really usually don't see that. Sorry, my dog caught me off guard there. We have some correlations starting to pop up now too. That's probably from the Hellcore though. Yeah. Very, very, very almost textbook MCV thunderstorm down here in Brownsville, Rhoda, Pig, Highway 2325 there, heading toward Mammoth Cave National Park. So if you're out there at Mammoth Cave National Park, make sure you're getting indoors. This is definitely a very impressive cell down there. Looking up here once again toward Cloverport, Hardinsburg, Knoxville, and Whitesville, still some impressive signatures up here as well. Hellcores everywhere, and they're not as big as the Hellcore down there, but spread out quite a bit there. Again, here we go with the northern side of the line again. And if this holds together, those folks at the Derby events and festivals, or Oaks events and festivals there, are going to have to go move indoors. Let me, I'm just texting our friends from Louisville EMS there to let them know. Got a hook forming near Cloversport? No. So again, you have this right here, and this is on the front side, so this is more of the dominant. It almost needs to look a little more like this, where you have a nice line here, and then the hook kind of coming in on the bottom side. So again, you kind of see the differences there. This is not in a good position. This one is. James, thank you for the update out of Valley Station. I appreciate you, my friend. Then we have the southern side of the line beginning to fall off now, or getting kind of cut off there. I'm really curious to see what this storm cell is going to do over the next 15 to 20 minutes. It's got its own space to work with. This is definitely the most concerning cell out of all of them right now, because one is the most aggressive cell at the moment. Number two, it's got its own environment to work with now. That southern part of the line is being cut off. So again, very interested to see here how these lines interact. And now the line is beginning to turn a little bit more north. So we're starting to see. So again, I'll just kind of zoom this out here, just kind of show you. Pull on our drawing pin here. Remember, we had the line back here in Western Kentucky that was moving pretty much east, a little bit northeast of a wiggle, and then it got to here, started moving a little bit more northeast, and now we're here where we're starting heading a little more, even more northeast. And now what's happening because of that is now all of this is getting pulled up to the north. This is getting cut off down here, and that's going to create a stronger line back here to the west for Tennessee. But for us, it's going to start creating this line up here being a little bit stronger. So interesting dynamic being set up here as we're watching this unfold live. This one is still behaving itself. It's got some nice hell to it. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely ping pong ball sized hell at least. Entering Mammoth Cave National Park, between Straw and Pig, Kentucky there. Again, this is going to head out toward Mumfordville along I-65 here soon. So if you're traveling along I-65 here, you better get more further north or further south pretty fast. You don't want to have those hell cores fall on your vehicles. Again, guys, for those of you that may just now be tuning in, we do have prefrontal cells out there in eastern Kentucky. Your main line right here. and then a secondary line out here in western Kentucky. So we really can't give you any good time frames today because the time frames may be a little bit skewed thanks to those prefrontal cells there and the backside line. So all I can tell you is that storm activity can be expected until about 9 p.m. Eastern time or so. Then the severe threat begins to drop off, but you're still looking at a nice rain shower chance throughout the late night. As far as severity purposes, almost everyone in the state is involved in a severe thunderstorm watch at this point. Main threat being up to 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as up to 1.75-inch diameter hail, which is golf ball sized hail. Again, that will only be on the stronger side of things. Most folks, if you do see severe cell, will be around 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and 1-inch diameter hail. So again, that's kind of what we're looking at right now for those of you that may just now be tuning in. That warning's going to be expired. It's still getting a nice hook down there. I'm kind of. Let's see. Definitely some rotation occurring now. Again, not anything to really write home about. This is still very broad, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see this rotation continue on the next scan. I wouldn't be surprised to see a tornado possible attack come out on this warning down here for just east of Brownsville, heading toward Mammoth Cave National Park. Again, only because we have the hook and because the southern side of the line is being cut off. So this cell has its own space. So if it wants to spin, it can spin. The only problem is there's not a whole lot of wind shear out there, I bet. There's a little bit, but yeah, there's definitely not enough. Maybe some very small isolated mesoscale, but again, there's not a whole lot. Yeah, if this thing does spin up, it would be quite impressive because there's not a whole lot of wind energy out there. Yeah, StormNet AI is not even seeing it either. Well, version 2 is very low though, about 10%. Very, 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 very cautious of this cell here. Again, Mumfordville, Horse Cave, B, Big Windy, Cub Run, be on alert there. Again, this one may produce a brief spin up if it continues to rotate. Again, it's a big if though. Still has a very nice hell core on it. On the southern side, yep. Pig there, Rada, Chalabate, however in the world you say that name there. Again, just to the south of Mammoth Cave is where that bigger hell core is, but Mammoth Cave is still going to see some nice hell there as well. Yeah, Lexi, if you wouldn't mind, send those messages to me. Message the Facebook page and send those pictures. I'll look at them real quickly. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, folks. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right. What in the world did I do there? There we go. I'm tent camping in Brandenburg. You're gonna have some tough winds, and they'll come through there here in about an hour. Maybe not even an hour, probably 40 minutes. No, Separatsville's not good today. Again, guys, everyone's under a watch on 9 p.m. Eastern time, folks. I'm not giving anyone any all clears. We have multiple rounds here. We have prefrontal cells. We have the main line. We have the back line here. So again, no one's getting any all clears. We have an update to this warning here. This is going to be for 1.75 inch diameter hail, 60 mile per hour wind gust. Looks like they just trimmed off maybe the backside a little bit. Nice downburst of winds occurring. Now that rotation is beginning to spread out, this more so indicates now a downburst of winds occurring. So again, this is probably going to be 60 mile per hour wind gust there. Oh yeah. Check our hell core out. We got a very nice hell core there as well. So again, Mumfordville to Horse Cave, get ready. Once again, you're going to have some more hell occur like you did. I think what was it, earlier this month? No, it was actually April. Nice hailstorm went through there in April as well. Hellion Cub run right now. Already? The better hell core on this cell, by the way, is definitely on the southern side. So more for like Horse Cave, Rowletts, Mumfordville South there. That's where the better core is on this cell. But you still have some nice little hell spikes going up through that cell there. I want to put this in motion. I want to see how those cells here along this middle part of this line is strengthening, or definitely has some more lightning to it. Middle part of the line might be trying to get its act together again. I do see some cells popping out in front of the line as well. So middle part of the line might be trying to get its act back together. We'll continue to watch that, of course, as well. What time can we expect in Radcliffe? Once again, guys, I'm not going to give any specific timelines today, right? I'm just not. I'm going to say this one more time. Again, we have the prefrontal cells that pop up at any time. The main line, secondary line here. This line's getting pretty close to Radcliffe at this point, for example, so probably within the next hour and a half or so. But again, I don't want to give any specific time frames, folks, because we're going to have cells. Again, here's your actual main line, by the way, that's backside of this. All of this on the front side here have been cells that popped up in front of it that are now being ingested. So again, I don't want to get too specific on the time frames, folks. I just don't. Again, because it's going to lead to false expectations. Yeah, Owensboro's gotten a lot this year. Hunter, thank you very much. I appreciate that, my friend. Yeah, just a lightning strike to your southeast there, Caitlin. Nothing too crazy down there in Scottsville. Well, Gretchen, pivotal weather really shouldn't be used by casual users. This is pretty much used for meteorologists and forecasters because this is not an hour by hour forecast. And there's all kinds of different models to use there. I would recommend if you're trying to learn how to use this, go to YouTube and look up some tutorial videos and stuff because, quite frankly, it would take me a long time to try and teach someone how to use them. So we're talking about the period of months on how to read a model accurately because this is not future radar. These are model data. It's completely different, my friend. I don't really see severe weather tomorrow, folks. For those of you asking about derby plans, now we do see more storms, and there is I believe a marginal risk out for severe weather tomorrow. Yeah, marginal all the way in far eastern Kentucky. Just a general thunderstorm risk in pretty much all of Kentucky tomorrow. So again, I don't really see a big severe threat tomorrow. Tomorrow does look pretty active with rain showers though. So just keep that in mind with your plans. Like we have a looks like they're expecting us to turn a little bit more to a little right turn here on this cell for Park City, Cave City, Horse Cave, Highsville. And that's what we talked about there. The southern side of that cell was beginning to get a bit more dominant. We just said this about 3 minutes ago. And sometimes when that happens, you can get a right turn on these cells. That's exactly what the National Weather Service is expecting to occur here for Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City. Looks like the hell core is beginning to come a little bit stronger once again there. My goodness. What are they expecting here? Golf ball size? Quarter size tail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Wouldn't be surprised to see that adjusted if this continues to strengthen. We'll see how this cell acts as it turns here. But again, we do have that warning now being expanded all the way from pretty much Bonneville down to Highsville. And again, these are, by the way, these are moving at about a speed of, not very fast at all, about a speed of 30 mile per hour. So pretty much as you travel through your neighborhood is about how fast these storms are moving. So not very fast moving storms at all, folks. Unfortunately, when you get this, it's going to sit there and really pour for a while. You don't need to like shelter in place in Horse Cave, but you definitely need to be indoors. You don't have to like hunker down in a tornado shelter or anything, but definitely just remain inside your homes or inside buildings. Again, guys, I expect these storms to maintain their strength, neither amp up or die down, but maintain their strength as they continue to head to the east. The only thing is, the only thing that we have to wait and see is basically you're starting to see this line get cut off, right? So you're seeing this line here now. That's heading out to the northeast pretty much. And then you have this starting to get cut off down here. That's heading out to the east. Now, again, the only thing that may save a lot of folks from seeing a lot today is these gaps that are going to develop within the line. But you can't forecast that. You just can't. That's not possible. You have to wait till it actually happens. But as for amping up or dying down or strengthening or weakening, I only expect this storm line to maintain its strength as it heads east, not neither amp up or die down until about sunset. It's all about where it's going, though. Jada, thank you for your $2 donation on YouTube. I appreciate that. The sale in Scottsville is really not nothing to worry. Really not anything to worry about, Caitlin. It's really not. Thank you guys again for all your shares and all your likes on the videos on both Facebook and YouTube. I appreciate you guys a lot. Again, YouTube is just continuing to dominate Facebook, which is just surprising to me because that's never happened before. But go YouTube, I guess. By the way, for those of you wondering, these sales out here in Eastern Kentucky, they're really not anything to write home about. They're a little bit too far in front of the main batch of wind energy out there. So these should just remain like summertime downpours. Maybe a little bit of lightning involved with a few of these. Maybe some very small hail, like penny-sized hail. But again, I don't really see anything too crazy about these cells out here. They're just a little bit too far away from the main line, where that main pool of energy is at. Destiny, again, I wouldn't be walking outside when this storm hits you in about an hour or so. The line behind the main one is not looking nearly as strong. It's looking like a lot of rain, maybe some thunder showers. But again, as that moves east, it is only 3 o'clock, guys. So you still have heating occurring. So we're gonna keep an eye on this as it moves east. But I wouldn't expect this to be anything too crazy because once again, you can see where the storms have been versus where they're going. Not nearly as much energy back here to the west now that the storms have already gone through there. So again, don't really expect them to be too crazy, but hey, listen, it is only 3 o'clock Eastern time, 2 p.m. Central time. We're still in that peak heating. So again, these storms can ramp up. I just don't see it happening, but they absolutely can. Yeah, Zach, it's not fun out there. Dark purple is just indicating heavier rainfall or hail. Yeah, Serena. I do have ads on YouTube because we are full partners, so we do have to have the ads on of some level, or else we would lose our partnership. But I do have them on the lowest setting. Thoughts on Brownsville, Kentucky? Well, you've already had your storm there, so again, I expect you to see that second line later on, just like the rest of these folks. But it shouldn't be anything too crazy. Starting to see a little bit more lightning here in the middle portion of this line. I wonder if this is starting to strengthen back up here. Keep an eye on that. Remember, we saw a period there where there was no lightning in the middle part of it, right there. No lightning, no lightning. 1, 2 strikes, now 3 strikes. So this might be now 4 strikes. So we might be starting to see a regeneration of this line here. Again, we'll see. These MCVs, guys, mesocyclone vortexes, which is the type of thunderstorm. Yes, there are different types of thunderstorms, and this is the type of thunderstorm that we're dealing with today. Guys, they just have a mind of their own. They really do. It's you could ask almost anyone in the weather field. It's one of the most annoying types of storms to forecast because they just really do what they want. For example, it started back out here in Western Kentucky, where by the way, it was just a general 1 out of 5 risk. We had severe warnings out here from Mayfield, Murray, right? And now here we go, and we're going more toward the serious zone, the level 3 out of 5, and we really only have 1, maybe 2 warnings at the moment. Now, again, the line hasn't really fully made it over there, but if you follow the line where it's currently at, that 3 out of 5 zone might end up getting gapped. Again, it's just it's an amazing phenomenon with these types of events. I hate forecasting them personally. I know a lot of people hate forecasting them in general because they just do what they want. They do not care about your rules or your guidelines. They just do what they want, and all you got to do is trust your gut. A few counties have been taken out of the watch in Western Kentucky. Do you agree with that? Yeah. So once again, I think the watch is mainly for this line here, and then some of the cells popping up in front of the line. This secondary line back here, it's mainly just going to be rain, maybe some thunder showers, guys. So because once this line passes through the main line, this one right here, where my cursor is, once that passes through, it doesn't take the energy all the way down in your environment, but it does severely impact it. So again, this line shouldn't really turn into anything crazy because this line's already worked over the atmosphere quite a bit. So yeah, once this line passes through, I imagine they'll continue to drop people from the watch. Yeah, we've already seen that. We're already seeing that now. We have people being dropped from the northwestern Kentucky part of the watch. I imagine we'll continue to see it. The only part of Kentucky I think could stay included in the watch after this first line comes through is that very far southern portion of Kentucky, like Hopkinsville, Russellville, Dareville, Bowling Green, Scottsville, Tompkinsville, so on and so forth. That's the only portion, and that's because the second linebacker out here on the southern side should be a little bit stronger. We'll see though. Again, MCVs they do what they want to do. By the way, the warning up here has been allowed to expire. Wouldn't be too terribly shocked to see another warning come out. Maybe not though. That northern portion of the line is far. There is a nice little wind gust here. Measure that real quickly. Yeah, 58, 54, 55, 57. So just below severe level. So that's why we saw that severe warning being allowed to expire. We'll see how it trends. That guys, that's the God's honest truth on a day like today. We'll have to see how these storms go as it's called nowcasting. So you go from forecasting to now forecasting. There's a difference there. Forecasting, you're trying to predict something in the future. Nowcasting is something that you're just covering as it's going. So that's kind of what we're doing today. And listen, I hate to do it, but again, days like today, they just do what they want to do. Yes, the main line has passed Owensboro. The watch is a severe thunderstorm watch. It comes into northern Kentucky, you are under a severe thunderstorm watch there as well. When that line gets to you, it should still be rocking and rolling. Again, guys, it's only 3 o'clock. I know we usually get our storms late at night, so we're used to these dying down as they head to the east. But when you get storms that are coming in the middle of peak heating, folks, they're not going to just suddenly die down. They're going to continue to maintain their strength. Now, what we are seeing, though, is that the line is not as severe as what it once was. So hopefully that continues to occur, right? Because no one wants to deal with severe weather. Now, I will say, as ironic as this sounds, some spots in the state do need some rainfall. So hopefully we get some good rainfall out of this for a lot of folks. Because some spots in the state do need some rainfall. Not terribly bad, obviously, but and as ironic as that sounds, given what we saw last month, again, that's kind of where we're at right now. Well, that hell core is just hanging on down there for Cave City. Just to your west there, heads up Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City. Very nice hell core. Probably up to about golf balls or a quarter sized tail there now on the warning box there. Ping pong on the northern box there, but I'm sure it's just about quarter sized tail at this point. The hell core is smaller. Quarter sized tail heading into your area, Horse Cave to Cave City here very soon. Very nice hell core on that storm there. And again, here comes another cell on the front side getting stronger. So again, we'll have to watch those cells as they combine with each other, with one another down there. Zoom this out once more. There we go. Zach, I appreciate that, my friend. Brooke, there is a 2% tornado risk, but again, that's very, very small. E-time timing, once again, guys, anywhere between now and 9 p.m. Eastern time is the time frame for storms. Of course, this is obviously, this line's getting pretty close to you, so probably within the next hour or so. Warning's been updated down here. Again, just kind of trimming off the backside there. Horse Cave, Cave City, still expecting that hell core to go through your area here soon. Although that cell is beginning to finally weaken. That one's been going ever since about Woodbury, Kentucky, over toward Brownsville. So that cell is now starting to weaken as well. Yeah, hell core is definitely getting smaller down there. This line's going to fall apart when it shouldn't. I already know how this is going to go. Look, listen. We have all this energy out here for the storm. Look at this. Hang on, when it updates here. About 2,000 joules of cape, for example. That's about a 3/4 tank full of gas for your vehicle to go. That's a lot of fuel out there. There's not as much wind shear, but there's enough to get things going. It's not a whole lot, but it's enough. There's almost no helicity out there, and these storms are just falling apart. Again, the secondary line is not nearly as bad as the primary line. The primary line, again, has a risk up to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gust, as well as up to about ping pong ball size tail with that main line that you're seeing there. The backside line is just general thunder showers, guys. Nothing crazy at all. Yes, we're already seeing this storm line begin to break up. So again, guys, there's chances for everything today. So you guys are gonna get some very general answers because again, with MCVs, which is a mesocyclone vortex, which is the type of thunderstorm that we're dealing with today, they do what they want to do. They just do. Again, there's plenty of fuel out there. These storms can go on for hours, but again, we are seeing them fall apart. We are. So again, I can't give any real firm answers because, guys, just quite frankly, this is going to do what it wants to do. I can tell you what it should do, but it won't matter. There's some nice little popcorn cells out here in Eastern Kentucky, like one near Richmond, near Mount Sterling, Frenchburg, Flemingsburg. Some nice little popcorn cells out there. Nothing too crazy to write home about, though. Look at this. I mean, just look at this, for example. We have this line just to the west of I-65 right now, right? Look at where the level 3 out of 5 risk is today. Eastern Kentucky. These storms are falling apart before they even get there. At the moment. Now, of course, these can regenerate, create some stronger little individualized cells. But we had the most warnings right here in the 1 out of 5 to 2 out of 5 zone. So again, just kind of, again, and that's not even from us. That's from the Storm Prediction Center, which is the experts of the experts. right? So again, just these types of storm modes will do what they want to do. They do not care about the forecast that you made. They're going to do what they want to do. And again, I'm not saying go ahead and let your guard down, go out there and party, go start going through dancing through the McDonald's drive-through. Don't do none of that because these storms can absolutely ramp back up. There's plenty of fuel out there. And matter of fact, if they break up and continue to get stronger as individualized cells, well, now we have a different threat to worry about. But again, the line is just weakening at the moment. Again, want to make that very clear. Could ramp back up. Again, the wind risk is up to 60 to 70 mile per hour in those stronger portions. Most folks will only see 40 to 50, but the risk is up to 60 to 70. Yeah, the Hellcore's really died down out there now, out there in Horse Cave, Cave City. Very small Hellcores, probably penny nickel sized tails. And a lot of these cores up here toward northern Kentucky. But again, just amazing. Once again, this happened on Tuesday, where this same event came through Western Kentucky, produced all kinds of tornado warnings. It was more of a QLCS, but it was very similar to an MCV because it was in between the two. But it came through Missouri, Illinois produced several tornado warnings, several damaging thunderstorm warnings, and then pushed into West Kentucky and just flat out died. I mean, it died so fast, and it shouldn't have. And here we go again. All right, Diamond, sounds good. Amy, thank you for your update there. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely some nice thunderstorm activity up there toward Irvington. My son is being bad. He just took a 15-minute nap. What in the world? I think you're looking too far into it, Aaron. Again, this line is going to continue to, whether it's weakening or not, it's a line of showers, right? So those showers are what's going to take down the atmosphere, not necessarily the severity. The showers are what's going to cool the temperatures down, cool the ingredients down a little bit. So I think you're looking a little bit too far into it. Again, that secondary line back out here in West Kentucky, folks, is just general thunder showers. Nothing of remote concern. Zoom this out a little bit so you can kind of get a statewide view here almost. Cutting off East Kentucky a little bit, but not a whole lot happening out there at the moment. Miss Montoya, thank you for your 100 stars. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yeah, Sarita. He's just being crazy. He stood up for the first time today. No, Matt agrees. Judy, again, it's really hard to tell. You're asking me to predict the lottery at that point. Again, we have cells popping up in front, main line in the back. Just depends on when exactly that line hits you. Now, I will say these are pretty slow moving lines, about 30 mile per hour. So you can time it up pretty well. Once this line passes you, as long as you're traveling, you're pretty good. I gotta work on something there real quick. Sorry, I was trying to help somebody figure out something real quickly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not too mad about it because every time we know when he's not sleeping a whole lot, we know he's about to learn something. So he's done that every time. Turning Thunder in Richmond, yeah, you get a nice little popcorn cell out there. Nice little baby cell, all focused on you. So you're star of the show out there for that cell. Guys, I think at this point we can end the broadcast. I mean, quite frankly, I mean, if the stuff ramps back, if the storms ramp back up, we'll be back live with you. But I hate to sit here and stay live and take up your time making you think something's happening when I mean we have no severe warnings in the state now. I mean, not one. And so, our criteria is to make sure that we're live for really impactful times, and we don't even have a severe warning in the state, so that doesn't really meet our criteria of being live. Now, of course, if things ramp back up, we'll come back live here with you, and of course, we'll have our radar updates on Twitter and Facebook, so make sure you're following us there, having notifications turned on. You guys know all that good social media stuff. So we'll have our post updates there. But quite frankly, I mean, the line seems to be falling apart a little bit. Now, what I want to watch while we're off air is this southern side where we have some popcorn cells popping up, seeing how those act as they move to the east. Well, the northern side of the line, in my opinion, should continue to fall apart because it's a little bit further away from the warm air, a little bit further away from the best instability, so on and so forth. But again, it's just at this point, just not seeing a whole lot with this line. Definitely not enough to keep us live. Now, definitely strong thunderstorm activity. Maybe some small hail still involved. Some nice wind gusts still going on. But at this point, nothing severe. And I'm trying to even ramble and stall until we at least see a warning, but I don't see one. But quite frankly, the line is just weakening. It just is. Again, we do have the prefrontal cells. For those asking, we have the prefrontal cells right there in eastern Kentucky. Your main line here, your secondary line back out here in western Kentucky. Your main line is your primary focus, but that one again is starting to dwindle down. We'll continue to watch it for you guys though. Give you a heads up. Of course, go back live again if that changes. But right now, though, that's kind of how things are setting up. So overall, again, that's going to do it for us here for now. I'm George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here with Weather Down Kentucky. If anything pops back off again, we'll be back be back live here with you. I appreciate you so much for tuning in, hanging out here with us. Stay safe, Kentucky.